Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and I'm watching this for the first time. I watched this episode last night. I don't know what Jon Snow was complaining about. The night watch was pretty chill.
It's good.
And we're in season 3, baby!
Season 3! Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yes. Today we are talking about episode 1 of season 3, The Bells of Fraggle Rock.
What a banger to start off with.
Right?
What an absolute banger to start off with. This episode ruled.
This is like really the only episode from this season that I not like fully, but I remembered most of. Like I knew the existence. I knew this is like the Christmas coded episode of Fraggle Rock. There were more memories for this one than probably any other episode this season.
Speaking of the Christmas coding, my first two notes are about that. I literally, as the opening shot happened, I paused and I wrote, "Oh, a Christmas episode. Nothing like a little Christianocentrism in our world peace show." And then Doc immediately pivoted into explaining solstice and Saturnalia, and I was like, "Well, I'll eat my hat. You got me there, Jim Henson." Nicely done. And then Doc proceeds to give one of the most non-combative explanation of the origin of Christmas celebrations.
Right?
Like, this rules. He could, it is worth learning at some point that the reason that we don't celebrate Saturnalia is because the Christian church was like, what if we made it Jesus, actually?
Right.
Like, they did just sort of hijack that.
Let's just map what we want people to do onto their existing pagan traditions and call it Jesus.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we know Jesus was born in September. But it's a good groundwork to set. And it's a good way to acknowledge that there are traditions older than Christmas and wider than Christmas.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't just talk about, okay, I would have loved a little note on Hanukkah. I would have loved a little note on Kwanzaa. Some along those lines. But we got a little bit of Mexican Christmas, and he talked a little bit about Mexican Christmas traditions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going to get into more about the meaning of this episode and the message, which also I love the message of this episode.
Yes.
I was trying to think. I think the only thing I've seen hit this well is The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett.
Yes. Oh my God. I need to revisit that one.
The movie's also very good.
Yeah. Surprisingly. This originally aired on December 24th,
Hey.
1984. They did that deliberately. Previously, all the season 1 and season 2 started airing in January of that year.
Mm-hmm.
And this one they made 2 weeks earlier so that they could have it on Christmas Eve, which I love.
That's great.
Directed by Douglas Williams and written by Jerry Jewell, Susan Jewell, and Jocelyn Stevenson.
I was going to guess Jerry Jewell.
Yeah.
You can see his fingerprints on it.
Oh, yeah. So every year that I watch this, and I try to watch it every year on the winter solstice, it's become one of my favorite little traditions. Every year I notice some new detail. And the last time I watched it, I noticed that Doc's tree is hung with tiny little golden tools and shovels and a mini microscope and tiny little golden screwdriver. I just think that's beautiful.
Aww.
Yeah. Can I talk about the opening shot though? In the with the doozers and
Do it.
We talked in season 2 about how they're really stepping up their cinematography game. And there's 2 shots that I just absolutely adore. And the first one is this opening one. It starts on doozers working on little icicles, which is already just amazing. We're getting doozers in the opening shots. It's phenomenal. It pans right to follow a Fraggle as one Fraggle is walking, and then pulls back to encompass this whole Fraggle tableau, and then zooms in on Gobo as the narration that he's thinking pulls the focus to him.
Yep.
Then we get a shot that follows Wembley as he vocal stims his way off from stage left, bounces all over the place, falls over, and then pulls back that direction to talk to Gobo. It's so good. It's so elegant. And the way that the camera is being an active player and telling this story is just, it's like a love letter for your eyes.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that first shot carries the icicles motif from the doozers to the first Fraggle who we're following, because the doozers are removing the icicles. And then the one background Fraggle that we see, it snaps off an icicle, is licking it like a popsicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to see all these background Fraggles they're doing skating. Some are like gathered around a little fire, and you can see that the colors are much more subdued. It's very like frosty looking everywhere,
except right around the fire.
And of course, everyone's wearing their winter wear, their little hats and scarves and things, and it's so good.
Ugh.
I like that Wembley's Hawaiian shirt is over his sweater.
Yeah. I also just love in that one shot, there's Fraggles in the foreground, and you see him go behind them. And it just sort of adds to that feeling of like, oh, we're in the crowd and we're watching this.
Yeah. Not only is he wearing a sweater under his banana tree shirt and a pair of earmuffs, on this last watch, I noticed that Wembley's sweater also has what I'm calling a third sleeve on the back for his tail.
Aww.
And then, of course, Red has this Y-shaped knitted hat for her pigtails. It's just all, like, bespoke Fraggle winter wear. So good.
And then I mentioned Cantus is on the way, and I got even more excited, because y'all know I love Cantus.
Oh, Cantus. I knew you were going to love this one, if for no other reason than Cantus.
He throws the best shade in this episode. It's amazing.
Yeah, so Gobo is basically... So they're gearing up for this annual holiday that everyone is excited for except Gobo, which... If you've ever felt kind of disillusioned at the holidays, like, what is the point? This is a relatable thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's specifically disillusioned with, like, he says this holiday is silly and a waste of time, and he gets this idea in his head that if he can... Like no one's ever seen the Great Bell.
Yeah.
That they're all, celebrating, and therefore...
It's probably not real.
Therefore it's meaningless. Yeah, it's probably not real.
He gets really hung up on whether or not it's real.
Yeah.
Which is not the point, as Cantus tries to tell him several times. But so, yeah, the holiday is... it's the ringing of the Great Bell. It's the Festival of the Bells. We also get to see them put on an amazing... It's like a group costume of the Weeba Beast, and then they just chant, Weeba, 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 and it's so good.
Yeah. It's kind of like operated... I love when puppets do puppetry. They're basically... It's designed kind of like a cross between like a Chinese lion and dragon dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, again, Lunar New Year, not exactly, solstice, but we're calling it close enough. And I just love that the Weeba Beast is so weird looking, but endearing. It's got like a unicorn horn, these wild eyes and teeth.
Oh, the eyes are so good.
And green flippers? I gotta hope that the green flippers are a nod to Kermit.
That's the hope.
But then, yeah, Cantus shows up and gets everybody singing.
Well, before that,
go ahead.
We get to see there's the map.
Oh, right.
So Gobo's trying to prove that the Great Bell isn't real, and he's like, yo, I found this in a file marked old stuff.
Very old stuff.
Very old stuff. It's a map of all of Fraggle Rock, and at this point in the episode, I'm like, oh, it's just exploring over? And then we actually get to see the map, and I love it because it's just marker.
Yeah.
It's just marker on paper, and it's just like a maze, like when you draw for a kid. It's so good.
Yep. It does look like a placemat maze.
But there's apparently cave at the center of the rock shaped like a bell, and he's like, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna prove that, I'm gonna find the Great Bell. I'm gonna bring a real tangible thing into this silly meaningless holiday. And then Cantus shows up.
Yeah, I do like when, so for a moment it's just him and Wembley, and Wembley is of course very excited about this holiday, and he's reciting, like, you can tell there's a rhythm to the way he's saying it, like, at the heart of the rock there lies a bell. The bell must ring once every year when the rock slows down. If the bell didn't ring, the rock would freeze. The rock would freeze and stop forever. And you can just tell that it's like the thing that they, tell the young Fraggles every year, and everyone grows up with this message.
Yeah.
And Wembley's got the right idea.
Mm-hmm. I also love, it's just a little throwaway line, but Gobo says something very blasphemous. And Wembley says, the rock will fall on you, saying things like that.
Right.
And it's just a great little in-world idiom, like, oh, it's I'm having a hard time finding the, our world equivalent, but just the idea of like, oh, well, don't say that, bad things will happen, like knocking on wood or something.
Yeah.
And again, just like, not just no seams in the world building, but all the little corners of that are filled in, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Cantus shows up and gets everybody singing one of my favorite songs in all of Fraggle Rock. It's called There's a Promise. And it's very appropriate for the solstice because it talks about, like, there is a rhythm to the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
That when things slow down and get cold and seem hopeless, God, there's the line, there's a dream of green that needs to wake.
Can I wrote every lyric down of this song because I have so much to say about it. Can I just read the whole thing?
Please do.
There's a rhythm, there's a rising, there's a dream of green that needs to wake. It's a password and a promise that the earth will never ever break. It's coming, feel it humming, in the hearts we share with earth and sky, so raise your voices high.
When I think about getting my someday Fraggle Rock tattoo, I think about the phrase, there's a rhythm.
Yeah.
Just to remind myself that, like, yes, hard times will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And spring will come back. It's gonna be okay.
That is why I have my blackberry tattoo.
Tiny little correction, though. The line is, in the hearts we share with rock and sky.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Yeah. Which, they kind of use that as a stand-in for
They do.
Earth.
They don't usually say earth, they say rock.
Mm-hmm.
I must have done the brain thing. Hearts we share with rock and sky. I don't talk about, like, my spirituality very often because it's a really personal thing, but I observe and celebrate the solstice, and this is a solstice song.
Yeah.
This is a hymn. This is a prayer.
Absolutely.
And the bit that I really want to draw my attention to is just the structure of it, because it loops. As the last line sings, raise your voices high.
There's a rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come in on high so that you're getting the harmony from the last line over the beginning at the same time of the first line as it repeats. This is a cyclical song. Structurally, this is a song about cycles overlapping into each other.
Yeah.
Like, somebody knew exactly what they were doing when they wrote this, and it made me feel really seen. And that was really nice.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. This was actually the first song that I tried learning when I started taking singing lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit of a challenge for that reason.
Oh, yeah. This is not an easy song.
Yeah, I was like, wait, when do I start and stop, and when do I sing the slow part, and when do I sing the fast part, if they're both happening at the same time? But I have a little dream in my head of starting a, like, Christmas caroling group in Portland that just goes around singing Muppet Christmas songs.
Nice.
Oh, this would be a fun one, but you gotta have a group for it.
I honestly want to sing this the next time I have a solstice.
Hell yeah.
I also just love, there's so much really good stuff in this. That's the other thing is, like, these aren't complicated lyrics, but there's a lot going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
This idea that, yeah, it's a promise that the earth will never ever break. Like, yeah, it's not just we're doing our part to bring the light back. It's like, no, we are also having faith that the universe promised us that there will be warmth again. And we can put our faith in that. Anyways, I could talk about this song for the whole episode.
You know, we, as silly creatures, we like to have ourselves at the center of the climate change conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of what happens to us as a species, the planet's gonna keep going in some form or another.
Yeah.
Well, the Earth gonna be fine.
Life in some form or another, life finds a way.
And it does.
Oh, and then Cantus gives us this great lore drop. He says, the giant Weeba beast guarded the bell in the days when the rock was small. Now that the rock has grown and layers of stone cover the great bell, we no longer travel to the heart. At least not on foot. Instead, we remember. All Fraggles the rock over ring their bells, all together, all at the same time. Our bells wake the great bell. The great bell rings, and the rock keeps moving for another year.
Yeah.
There's so many layers to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even just, like, the phrase, when the rock was small. For a long time, I couldn't figure out, like literally or figuratively, did the
Both.
place where they live get bigger somehow?
Mm-hmm.
But thinking about it in terms of, like, how The Good Place tackled the concept of, globalization has made everything way more complicated.
Yeah.
Like, when we realize that, like, okay, we've got the world mapped out now, and suddenly we know there's people everywhere living different kinds of lives and doing all these different things. And then when the internet made it possible for us to see each other living our everyday lives in real time, when people on the other side of the world can live stream the things that they are going through, suddenly the rock is very big. The rock is not small anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting because that a tool is just something that lets us be more of what we are, right?
Ooh. Say more about that.
It's, well, I mean, if you got a hammer, you could drive in nails with your hand, but it would hurt and it wouldn't be very effective. A hammer lets you do that same striking motion in a way that you normally wouldn't be able to. And, there's tools that will allow us to do things that we can't, but that's just allowing us to map more of our intention onto the world.
Mm.
And, people say, the internet's amazing, or the internet's... It's both, because we're both.
Yeah.
Like, it lets, Zuckerberg advertisements into our face all day and all night, but it also means that, like, protesters in Hong Kong got to share tips on how to deal with tear gas grenades with protesters in Portland.
Exactly. Yeah, and I love the message. Well, okay, we'll get to the message about why rituals matter, because that's a whole lesson that Gobo's going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
At the point, he's still like, gets on Cantus like, have you ever seen the Great Bell? And they have this great exchange of, Cantus saying like, not with my eyes.
Yes.
We see with our eyes, we know with our hearts. Pointing to his eyes outside, then pointing to his heart inside.
I also just, like, here's the thing, Gobo. Like, you might not care about this. That's fine. You don't have to. But you're letting your not caring about it actively detract from the experience of all the people who do.
Right.
And that's messed up.
Yeah.
I used to lead worships for a coming-of-age retreat, and what I would always say is, like, hey, I know worship isn't for everyone. This is a middle school group. Not all of y'all are into the spiritual stuff. That's fine. It's not a long worship. If you don't like it, just vibe. You can participate in this for 20, maybe 30 minutes, and then we're done. Don't let your not liking of it detract from the people who are liking it.
Yeah, there's a big difference between scrutinizing religious dogma because it's harming people and communities, and just doing it for your own personal, like, I need to understand this thing, and therefore it's bad because I don't understand it yet, and everyone else needs to stop being excited about it. It's like, this particular thing is actively helping. Like, even if you can't prove that it's saving the world, you can prove that it's making your friends happy.
Right?
And it's not hurting anybody.
And, like, he gets so hung up on whether or not the Great Bell is real. And it's like, that's not the point. If you'll allow me a brief tangent. One of my favorite kids' books, it's by Bruce Covell. If you ever see anything by Bruce Covell, get it. It's great. It's called The Skull of Truth, and it's about a kid who lies to get out of everything, buying a skull at a magic shop, and then finding out that the skull makes it so that everyone in the vicinity can't lie.
Oh.
It's great. It's so good. And it's also awkward and really uncomfortable. And there's this amazing scene at a family dinner where, nobody can lie. And so suddenly all the little polite, uncomfortable things that everybody's talking around just get said.
Oh, no.
And it's a wild, hot mess. And there's a librarian there who's also kind of a priestess. And she tells the story of do what you want, do what you should, and do what you love. Do you know that one?
I don't know.
It's not long. Basically, this family has 3 kids, and they name them Do What You Want, Do What You Should, and Do What You Love. And, as they're growing up, Do What You Want is just like a very impulsive kid, just sort of, bounces around doing whatever he wants, really hard to stay on track. And Do What You Should is, very lawful and very specific and very rule followy and always turns in his work on time. And Do What You Love is an absolutely wild kid, but, deeply passionate about stuff. And then they get married and they get old and Do What You Want winds up marrying somebody who gets really tired because she has to keep him in line all the time. And it's a heteronormative framing of the story. And, anyways, Do What You Should marry someone else who's also very lawful. And they just sort of, they always file the taxes on time and they always do this and that. And Do What You Love marries a fellow adventuring partner, and they just sort of, travel all over the place, and then they start a community center, and then they die, and they all get sent to the pearly gates, and Do What You Want gets sent back because just doing what you want isn't enough to get you into heaven, and Do What You Should gets let in, and his reward is that he just gets to rest because he's so tired from doing what you should all the time, and
Oof.
Do What You Love gets to heaven and doesn't really notice the difference.
Oh.
And she tells this story at this table where the skull of truth is there and no one can lie. And the kid asks her and is like, how could you tell that story if you couldn't lie? And she says, just because that didn't specifically happen doesn't mean that it's not a true story.
Yes.
And there's a nuance there that I really wish Gobo would get, which I guess he does, but
Eventually. Sort of. In a world where magic is real.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like you and I have been talking a lot. Julia, thoughts?
Just like on this part in general. Sorry, I'm like super out of it today, guys.
That's totally fair. I just want to make sure we're not like...
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
We also get one of my favorite little pieces of Cantus shade. He asks Cantus something, and Cantus gives a wonderful Cantus answer. And Gobo says, what kind of an answer is that? And Cantus says, the kind that follows your question.
Oh, that's so good. And yeah, Gobo decides, well, I've got a better answer. I'm going to bring you the great bell of Fraggle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And Cantus, of course, is like, why do you want to look for something that's so easily found?
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually he's like, all right, this guy's going to do what he's going to do. And he kind of warns him, the heart of the rock may be farther away than you think. Then again, it may be closer.
Mm-hmm.
And Gobo sets off and forgets his mittens.
Yeah. And they're like, he forgot his mittens. And I also love, there's this great line, Moki's like, well, what are we going to do if he doesn't come back? What do we do if the rock stands still and he's not here? And Cantus says, there will be motion in the stillness, as there is music in the silence.
Yeah.
And Moki says, isn't it wonderful to receive such wise wisdom? Whatever it meant.
And then Cantus forgets his mittens, too.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I love this bit, because he goes off and he's like, oh, he's gotten much farther. Cantus decides he's going to go after Gobo. He's like, oh, he's gotten much farther. He's a very, very persistent child. It grows colder. I should have brought my mittens. And I just love that sometimes wisdom is this deep and powerful metaphor, and sometimes wisdom is, yeah, I should have brought my mittens.
Yeah. Oh, we skipped over another great line of his when they're like, why did Gobo have to do this now? Why couldn't he have done this weeks ago? And Cantus says, we do the things we have to do when we have to do them. Not sooner, not later. Dang, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot the Doc and Sprocket scene with the piñata.
Oh my God, we did. Julia, really important question for you. Have you ever given a dog a bat and had it attack a piñata?
Not with a bat, but here's the thing.
I need your professional opinion on this.
Dogs love tearing up toys, and I actually do have a client where if they're going to leave the house for a couple hours, they will take like a used up cereal box or, an Amazon package box or something, put some treats inside and tape it up and leave it with the dog, and she'll just go to town like breaking it apart. And it's smart because it uses up her energy, and then she's also destroying things that she's allowed to destroy and not like getting into anything around the house. So in a way, that's kind of like a piñata, just sans the bat. I don't think dogs could hold a bat. Is Fraggle holding the bat with his hands, his paws?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I was like, he's not holding it with his mouth, so most dogs wouldn't be able to hold a bat with their paws because they don't have thumbs, unlike Sprocket.
Yeah. No, I do a very similar thing with my cat. Just a bag with like layers of paper and whatnot inside, and then sprinkling treats throughout, so it's kind of like a little puzzle that she has to go digging through.
Yeah.
Nice.
Enrichment toys, things like that.
Exactly.
I did look up okay, sorry, this puppy got out and hold on one second. Yeah.
Do what you need to do.
How'd you get here? What did you do? How'd you get out of here?
So in looking around, like, Doc, to his credit, is trying He says he's trying to celebrate all of the festivals at this time of year. So there is a little bell on the workbench, and also a pair of wooden clogs, which I had to look up, but yeah, apparently that's a thing. This is from DutchClogs.com. It says, a Sinterklaas tradition that has more recent origin is the setting of the shoe. This was already done in the 15th century on Sinterklaas evening, and was then intended for the poor. Children then put their shoes in church on December 5th, after which the shoes were filled by the rich. The contents of the shoes were distributed to the poor a day later, on December 6th, the anniversary of St. Nicholas's death. In the 16th century, children began to use their shoes at home, where their parents filled them with toys and sweets. I was just like, you know what? I like that.
I mean, these kind of rituals were a lot of what charity work is today, except they actually meant something. It was a bunch of rich people being like, if I give people gifts, they're less likely to cut my head off with a guillotine.
Yeah.
And like, it works and you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Bezos, you have all of our Amazon wish lists and more money than God. You could literally become Santa. What's stopping you, aside from your own god-awful ego and your deeply underdeveloped sense of empathy?
Mm-hmm.
Coward.
But then, yes, Doc gives Sprocket the stick to whack at the piñata. And then he's like, oh, it's not that simple. You gotta wear the blindfold.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the wonderful visual gag of Sprocket just waving the stick everywhere and missing and crashing. And
it's great.
Yeah. And then there's a freaking gigantic bell hanging above the workbench that I'm guessing has only been there for this episode.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Yeah.
So we cut back to the Fraggles, and they're all cold, and they're huddling under the Weeble costume around the fire, and it's just rough. Like, it's rough to see. And they decide they're going to distract themselves with a postcard from Traveling Matt, who at this point has just moved into the breaking into people's houses constantly part of anthropology.
Yep.
Like, dude, bro, that's somebody's house.
And of course he says that they're doing, the celebration all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the bells? Where's the Weeba Beasts? They're hanging their clothes in the living room. And then steals a cookie meant for Santa.
Yep. Which, of course, the kids are going to be like, oh, Santa ate the cookies.
Oh, it was Traveling Matt all along. Sorry, kids. Didn't Matt meet Santa before? Oh, he met the wish-granting creature is what he called him. Yeah.
So Gobo, keeps going, and he eventually... Cantus catches up with him, and he makes it into the center of the cavern. And he's like, oh, I hear the bell, but the bell is actually just this iron handle banging in the wind. And Cantus keeps trying to be like, you should probably go back. And Gobo's like, no, I'm going to go there. And so he goes and he drags this door open, and there's nothing in the cave. And he's all bummed and really sad because there's nothing there. And he decides he's going to go back. And everyone is frozen stiff.
It's so creepy.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
It's really unsettling to see these things that are normally so full of movement and life just frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their eyes are, glazed in such a way that, it's so unsettling to see them just, not moving.
Yeah. I think it helps a little bit that they're, hung with icicles. They're not just physically not moving, but they're, showing, a extra layer of coldness, which if they were their regular bright selves and unmoving, I feel like that would be even more creepy. But there's a line where, so they get back and Cantus is like, behold, and Gobo sees everyone frozen, and in my head I was like, behold the consequences of your actions.
He had another really good bit of shade where Gobo's like, what do I do? And Cantus is like, listen and hear what I say for a change. It's like, dang, Cantus. But so Gobo picks up his bell and rings it.
I like the way that Cantus walks him through it. He says, last year there was no great bell in that cave of yours, and the rock did not stop. Last year the cold came and went away, just as always has. What is different this year? He makes Gobo figure it out.
Yeah, which is a wonderful, wonderful way to help somebody actually realize a thing. A lot of times you can't just tell kids stuff, you gotta let them realize it.
Mm-hmm. But also you can preface it with, listen and hear what I say for a change.
Yeah.
Such a good line.
Because if you've been trying to say it and they're not listening over and over again, that's like a moment of like, okay, focus up, but I'm still like, I'm gonna lead you to where the answer is, but you still gotta get there yourself.
Yeah. And Gobo starts ringing the bell, and as he rings the bell, we see Wembley's little hand move. Just a little bit. And he manages to ring the bell enough that everybody can start ringing the bells. And then they're all ringing the bells, and they're all really happy, and they're dancing. And there's just one little clip of Boober giggling, and it's everything. It's so good.
It's so good. And I love the distinction where Gobo's still, like, he's figured out that, like, ringing the bells is something, there's something key there. He says, but what good does that do? There's no great bell at the center of the rock. And then Cantus finally gets at, but there is a great bell at the heart of the rock.
Yeah.
Like, all this time, Gobo he eventually figures out, he says, I went to the center, not the heart. The heart is here. And he tells Wembley, ring your bell. And as Wembley starts ringing his own bell, like, Gobo takes the bell that he had picked up from Wembley, and that first ring that Gobo did is what started thawing Wembley out a little bit. But then when he puts the bell in Wembley's hand, and Wembley can start ringing it himself, that's when he's able to fully wake up.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
There's also this little moment before Boober gets his giggle moment. He gets this moment where he's like holding his head and saying, ugh, as if he's like hungover.
Mm-hmm.
But then Gobo realizes, the great bell is my bell. It's Wembley's bell. Our bells keep the rock moving. It's our music that keeps the rock alive. And I was like, there it is. Rituals matter for their own sake.
Yeah. It's not the reality behind the story. It's the coming together and the doing the thing together.
Mm-hmm. There's this great quote by Benedictine nun Joan Chichester that said, tradition is not the things that we pass on, it is the passing on of the things.
Yeah. That's a really good framing.
Yeah. But, like, it doesn't matter what your ritual is around this time of year. It doesn't even have to be around this time of year. Rituals matter because of the repetition and telling the story of this is why we're doing the thing. You know, whether or not, you know, the thing itself has any inherent meaning. Like, people make up holidays all the time. You know, there's Festivus, there's candle nights, there's whatever holiday you want to celebrate. The point is to gather with people and do things together.
Yeah. Also, just a little detail. There's a score that's playing while everybody's ringing their bell.
Yeah.
And Cantus is moving his hand in time with the score, which it is not clear that is in-world music or not. And so just him being able to hear the score when not necessarily everybody else can, wonderful. Great little detail.
And he says, like, everyone's ringing their bells, ding-a-ling-ling-ling-ling. And then he says, listen. And we hear this deeper, slower bell sound over the Fraggles bells. And it's like a heartbeat, like the rock is waking up.
Yeah.
And it starts to regain its color and warmth, indicating that there maybe Ditsy's hibernate during the winter.
Maybe. And then we come back to Doc and Sprocket, and I don't remember much about that last one, but there's this great little bit where Sprocket is blindfolded and swinging the stick around, and Doc ducks the stick and then catches the piñata in the face on the backswing.
Yes. Also, just the fact that they got a puppet to break a piñata.
Yeah.
Like, we see Sprocket move the stick and the piñata breaks in one shot. It's not a cut shot.
Exactly. You want to tell us about the international versions?
Muppet Wiki mentions the UK version. Says, the Captain and Sprocket wait for their Christmas dinner to be delivered in the middle of a storm. The opening credits feature a unique shot of the lighthouse interior with decorations while the Captain gives Sprocket a present. The closing credits take place over a still shot of the lighthouse over a choral rendition of O Come All Ye Faithful, omitting the reprise of There's a Promise. Okay, so not terribly different, but I kind of like the sound of the Canadian version better, talking about all the different holidays.
Yeah. Shall we talk about how to make the world a little fragglier? When things are difficult, the ritual, the point of it is that we can come together and do a thing together. So when things are difficult, find a thing you can do to come together and do. Doesn't have to be complicated. Doesn't have to be technically tangible and real. Just find a thing you can come together and do. And remember your mittens.
Ah, dang it. That's a good one.
Kind of going off of Adam, I think the heart of any tradition is just, it can be community. Just, yeah, the act of coming together and the faith that, like, things are going to reset as you go into a new season with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, very similar. I'm reminded of a quote. I finally rewatched this one episode of the show Northern Exposure.
Oh my god, I love that show.
My old high school English teacher / creative writing teacher / theater teacher showed us the episode where the weird artist is trying to fling a cow with a catapult, and then they're like, oh, like Monty Python. He's like, oh no, the thing I want to do has already been done. I can't do anything original. And then when he finally figures it out, the phrase he says is, it's not the thing you fling, it's the fling itself. And I remind myself of that phrase a lot. It's not the thing you're doing as a ritual that matters, it's the making it a ritual.
Yeah.
The repetition and the intention behind it.
I had a summer school class where somebody, it was clearly at a middle school, and somebody, like a student had written, before I got into the classroom, had written on the board, Jessica was here. I was a 8th grader. And I was like, no, this is great. This is great. And so at the end of the day, I was like, everyone, please look at the back. Please repeat after me. We remember Jessica.
Oh.
She was here. She was a 8th grader. We remember Jessica. And they were all like, what is this? Okay, fine. But we did it every day. And then the one day I forgot, like, it was like, Mr. Z, are we going to remember Jessica? And I was like, oh, you're so right. Because it doesn't matter what you do. Just having a thing that you come together and keep doing is important. Jessica, if you're ever out there, we remember you.
Yay!
You were a 8th grader. Alrighty, y'all want to plug your pluggables, let people know how they can find you?
You can find me on social media at Beth Anna Cook. That's Anna with 2 N's. And occasionally writing stuff for Tough Pigs.
You can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up, also occasionally writing for Tough Pigs or JuliaGaskill.com.
You can find me in an empty cavern at the center of a maze of rocks, hiding behind a wall with a bell sound recorded on my phone.
All right, that is it for this one. Reminder to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on...
Give us a Gurview. We need Gurviews.
That, too. We will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook, and make sure to check out our Discord server, TeePublic merch store, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
Hey, Future Beth, while you're editing this, do you have water? Could you drink some water, Future Beth?
Thank you. Yeah, you've seen me drinking a lot of coffee and not a lot of water.
I mean, yes, right now, but also this is for Future Beth, who's knowing that she needs to cut this out of the editing. Have you not caught that I do that sometimes? I'm just like, hey, Future Beth, and that just means that you... Okay.
I notice it every time, and I drink water every time I hear you say it.
Ah, glorious. That's the other thing that I'm really excited about, because, like, supposedly, if everything goes right, knock on wood, Friday was my last day teaching. Which, boy, howdy, I'm ready for a break from that. But the kids were really sad to see me go, and I had to deal with some of the guilt there. And the way I tried to say it was like, hey, like, I'm going to be going and doing something that makes me really happy. And part of that is also, like, I'm still going to be taking care of you. Every time you get to drink water from the tap and it tastes good and it doesn't make you sick, that's me trying to take care of you.
Oh my gosh, dude, I love that. Well, okay. So when our season 2 wrap-up episode aired yesterday, and in the Tough Pigs Discord, Kaylin said, "I'm a little sad that this episode didn't end with a sort of season cumulative how to make the world fragglier." And then Tony said, "Didn't you hear Adam? Drink water."
Ha! Also, but like, actually dance your cares away. Like, we're not joking. Do it.